Rahim. Today we are going to learn about the large intestine. Large intestine is actually a tube-like structure that is the part of gastrointestinal tract, and that is 5 feet in length in a living body, while in a cadaver that is around about 10 feet, and a dead body that is 10 feet. It get the food items from the small intestine, and that remains in the large intestine for 10 to 12 hours, unlike this large intestine, unlike the small intestine, in which that is for small time. In the diagram you can see the large intestine. This From this portion the large intestine start. This portion, this is called the ascending colon, this is called the transverse colon, and this is called the descending colon up to this portion, and this is called sigmoidal colon. From this portion to this portion is sigmoidal colon. The last part is the rectum, and then the anus. What will we learn in this large intestine? Large intestine is having the same anatomy, transverse section, just like the small intestine. This roughly represent the internal structure of both the small and large intestine, in which you can see the fleca, the villi, and probably also the microvilli, but microvilli is not visible. The small intestine and large intestine is having around about the same internal structure. That is also having serosa, then the muscularis, then the submucosa and mucosa. It is also having mucous glands and all other things which are present in the small and large intestine. This is having the same blood supply by the mesenteric arteries and mesenteric vein to drain the blood to the hepatic portal vein. Similarly, and here is also you can see the nerve supply. Here the myenteric plexus, we will learn it in the nervous system. Basically in the large intestine, large amount of water absorption take place. Water and minerals absorption take place in the large intestine. Also some food particles also absorbed in the large intestine, but the large intestine is mainly responsible for the absorption of fluids. Over here you can see three types of around about three types of absorption take place in the large intestine. This also takes place in the small intestine, but majority of the fluid etc. is transported into large intestine. So one is the transcellular absorption. This one, this is the transcellular absorption. This represents the transcellular absorption mean the absorption of anything that may be solid or liquid, that may be solute or solvent, fluid or solid, or so this will be absorbed through the cell. This will be absorbed through the cell. This is the transcellular transport. This is also the transcellular transport. But this is to the lumen. So to the lumen is secretion, and from the lumen to the bloodstream is absorption. From the bloodstream or from the cell to the lumen is secretion, and from the lumen to the cell or through the cell is absorption. So when the absorption takes place through the cell, this is the transcellular. When cross the cell, that is the transcellular. Cross the cell membrane twice. This will cross the cell membrane twice. Over here this will cross the cell membrane, and over here this will also cross the cell membrane. While this one is paracellular absorption, in which the food particle, in which the solvent is absorbed through the slit between the two cells. The slit between the two cells, and this one is you can see this one. here is a transport protein that with that transport protein the food particle is combined, and this green food particle is combined with this protein, and this protein facilitate this food particle to go through the cell and throughout the cell a long way to the opposite side. So this is the this took place with the help of a transport protein. So this is facilitated diffusion or facilitated transport. So you should learn in this section about the transcellular, paracellular, and transcellular transport and paracellular transport. This is also the type of transcellular transport, but this takes place with the help of protein. That this is type of facilitated transport. So you should learn that absorption takes place with the help of by transcellular transport, paracellular transport, and facilitated transport. Absorption also takes place in many other ways, like endocytosis, etc. But we will and other active transport mechanism. But we will learn that in the next section. In this section, you should learn these three phenomena. In this diagram you can see this is the ascending colon, this is the transverse colon, this is the descending colon, this is the sigmoidal colon, and this portion is rectum. This portion is rectum, and onward the small portion there, that is the anus. In this you can see that the ileum part of the small intestine is connected with the cecum, first part of the large intestine, where the small intestine make junction with the large intestine. This first part, the first part is a bit dilated. This part is called cecum, and this junction is called ileocecal junction. The junction made by ileum and cecum is called ileocecal junction, and the wall which allow one-sided flow, that is called ileocecal wall. You can also call it ileocecal sphincter. This is just like sphincter, muscular mass. So onward, you can also see that the whole length of the large intestine up to sigmoidal colon, it contains a worm-like structure over here. This a line-like structure. This you can see. This is a line-like structure. This is actually muscular mass. This is also muscular mass, which are three in number. The whole length of the colon contains three lines of muscular masses, and these are called tinea coli. Tinea coli. This word. These are called tinea coli. And what is the function of tinea coli? These are actually three in number, three lines throughout the whole diameter. Three lines of these muscles are there, and this helps in the movement of fecal matter throughout, or the movement of waste material through the whole length. This helps in the movement of food particle. So the next one, you can also see pouch-like structure. This pouch, this pouch, this pouch, this pouch. The whole length of the large intestine is having small pouches like structure. These are called, each pouch is called haustrum, and the plural is haustra. Haustra. These pouch, and these pouch, if you see the pouch in the living body, these pouch are continuously in motion. Sometimes the pouch will be hair and hair, but the other time you see that large intestine, the pouch will be the pouch may be over hair. The line may not be over hair. This is actually, this pouch-like structure is formed by the continuous motion of circular smooth muscles of the large intestine. The circular smooth muscles of the large intestine are continuously in motion, and that continuous motion make and that is called circumferential motion, or circumferential movement of the large intestine, and that circumferential motion of the large intestine give rise to the haustra or haustrum. And what is the application of this circumferential moment? It actually helps in the absorption of water. You can see it strain. It allows the large intestine to strain the fluid from the from this matter, from this digestive matter. It actually the hastra make able the large intestine to absorb the fluid from the matter, this hastra. So and so this help in the straining of food particles, straining in the absorption. So the next portion, this is the ascending colon, and this portion a flexure like segment of large intestine. This is a flexure, and over here also a flexure is here. So this flexure is called hepatic flexure, and this flexure is called splenic flexure, because this side is present in proximity with the hepatic, in proximity with the liver. That is why this is called hepatic flexure. This flexure is in proximity of the liver. That is why this is called hepatic flexure, and this flexure is in proximity with the spleen. That is why this is called splenic flexure. Above this, spleen is present, and above this liver is present. Similarly, you can also see small the fat-like pouches, this fat-like structure. This one, these are called omental appendices, or omental appendages. You can also call it omental appendages. What is the function of this appendages? Actually, this is the part of omentum. The omentum. What is the function of omentum in the body? Actually, you should learn about this. That omentum, this connect this appendage or this omental appendage, this connect the large intestine with the dorsal side of the abdominal cavity. This connects the large intestine with the dorsal side of the abdominal cavity. You can also see over here omentum. This do not connect with the abdominal cavity. This do not connect with the abdominal cavity. This make a layer above the small intestine over here. That this is the part. This is actually the greater omentum. This is the greater omentum. The greater omentum make a layer-like structure and enclose it, enwrap the small intestine. But the large intestine is not enwrapped inside the omentum. The large intestine is, though that is connected with the through omentum with the dorsal wall of the abdominal cavity, but not enwrapped in the abdominal cavity. This the ascending and descending portion, and sigmoidal portion and rectal portion, all of this is outside the omentum. But the small intestine is not outside the omentum. That is enclosed inside the omentum. So this appendage help in the this appendage, this omental appendage. This is called omental appendage because this is the part of omentum. So this omental appendage make able the ascending and descending colon or colon to get attached with the dorsal surface of the abdominal cavity of the abdominal wall, dorsal abdominal wall. Similarly, next, okay, this is so you can also see over here a lot of arteries and veins. The arteries come over here from the aorta, from the descending aorta, which supply blood to the large intestine, and the veins, which are blue in color, these veins drain the these are the mesenteric artery, and these are the mesenteric vein. The mesenteric vein do not pass blood to the heart directly. These pass blood to the hepatic portal vein over here. This is the inferior mesenteric vein, and this is the splenic vein, and this combined together with the hepatic portal vein, and this is the superior mesenteric vein, which combined with the hepatic portal vein, which goes to the liver directly. So These vein and the artery also arise from the small intestine, but here we are learning about the large intestine. So in the next, this is sigmoidal flexure. This area is sigmoidal flexure. So this make a flexure-like structure. That is why this is called flexure. And you can also see in this portion from the from the sigmoidal portion, from in the rectal portion, in the anus there is no tinea coli. There is no tinea coli or hastrum. Uh, Tinea coli are just like uterine muscle strip. Hast are the puckering into stakes. Yes. Due to circumferential contraction and epiploic appendages or omental or fatal. You can also call it epiploic appendages. The omental appendages are also called epiploic appendages. These are the absorption. You should also learn about the large intestine. That large intestine is also a very good residential area for this bacteria, various types of bacteria. You should also be clear that small intestine also contains large amount of bacteria, but the large intestine contain majority of of the bacteria present in the large intestine. These contain E. coli, Bacillus, Megatherium, and Lactobacillus species and Peptococcus species. The E. coli, as you Escherichia coli, as you have learned about the E. coli, that E. coli is very dangerous or very harmful bacteria, but this is not so. The E. coli is not very harmful bacteria. E. coli, some of the strains of the E. coli are pathogenic, while majority of the E. coli are human friendly. Majority of E. coli are not harmful to the human body. The E. coli which are present inside the intestine, small intestine or large intestine, but a lot of the E. coli are present in the large intestine. The E. coli which are present inside the intestine are very much useful for our body, because this produce the vitamin B12 in the body. This E. coli produce vitamin B12 in the body. You should also also produce a little bit vitamin K in the body, but B12, it also produce vitamin B12. So Bacillus megatherium also produce the vitamin B12. Lactobacillus and Peptococcus species, these also produce, these do not produce vitamins. Actually, the Peptococcus produce a little bit vitamins in the body, but these actually help in the absorption of food, in the absorption of vitamins, and these also give the Lactobacillus is throughout the body. Lactobacillus, especially the Lactobacillus bifidus, these species, these are useful bacteria, and these actually help in the removal of other bacteria and neutralizing of other bacteria. It also give us smooth nature to the intestine, and it allow the food particle to go through smoothly throughout the intestine, and making the normal flora of the intestine. The normal flora consists of large number of Lactobacillus bifidus, which are also present inside the inside the food. Various types of, for example, the milk also contain the lactobacillus, and the Bacillus megatherium is also present in the large amount inside the honey. The honey consists of large number of Bacillus megatherium bacteria. So these bacteria make vitamin B12, and the E. coli and Bacillus megatherium produce the vitamin B12 and vitamin K, and the Lactobacillus bifidus, a Lactobacillus species, and Pectococcus species help in the absorption of vitamins, absorption of food, absorption of water, and also give help in the normal peristaltic motion of the intestine. So these are present inside. If these bacteria, especially the Lactobacillus species, is sloughed off from the intestine, then it leads to the abnormal movement of the large intestine or small intestine, which lead to diarrhea. You can also see in this diagram, this is the rectal portion and this is the anal portion. The rectum do not contain the difference of rectum and the sigmoidal colon is that the rectum do not contain any tinea coli or any hostrom. While the rectum also contain walls, rectal walls, small walls are there in throughout the rectum, which are also actually mm, the outgrowth like structure of the. You can see the circular smooth muscle and the submucosa that make a wall-like structure. Okay, the rectum. You can also see in this is the anal portion, and that this is a type of muscle. This is a type of muscle. This is called levator ani muscle. This is called levator ani muscle. This levator ani muscle is connected with this line with the rectum. It helps in defecation of stool. This help in the defecation. Then another one is external anal muscle. This is the external line of anal muscle, and this is the internal line of anal muscle. This is the internal anal muscle. This is the external anal muscle. And this is the anal orifice, and this is the anal border with the rectum or anorectal junction. This is the anorectal line or anorectal junction. This is the pectinate line. This is the pectinate, the pectinate like structure inside the rectum is called pectinate line. So the external smooth muscle are voluntary, and this is under voluntary control. This is not part of autonomic nervous system, and this is involuntary. This is under the autonomic control. In this diagram you can see over here how the defecation take place. So defecation triggered by stretching of the wall mediated by the spinal cord parasympathetic reflex. So over here you can see that these muscles are connected with the spinal cord. So when the food reach here, or when the digested food reach over here, and that is not having sufficient amount of water, that is roughly dry in nature, then when it roughly dry, then these muscle or these neuronal ending are able to transfer the reflexes, to transfer the sense, to transfer this stimulus to the spinal cord, and that spinal cord in turn give a motor reflex to the internal smooth muscle. These are the internal smooth muscle. These are the external smooth muscle. So which lead to the it also give information to this portion, and also to internal smooth muscle. So the internal smooth muscles get relaxed. After the relaxation of the internal smooth muscle, this we can detect this relaxation. And after detection of this relaxation, we these muscles are pressurized. These muscles are under pressure, then the external smooth muscle, and we need to relax this smooth muscle to allow the feces to be evacuated from the rectum, So what we do, we give reflex from the we give order from the cerebral cortex portion, which is under conscious control, and that travel through the sensory neuron to the to motor neuron to these external smooth muscle, and these external smooth muscle, when gets relaxed under voluntary control, the food is defecated out of the intestine. So this this last portion of the large intestine. So if what help in the defecation then, after relaxation of this and this external smooth muscle and internal smooth muscle, after relaxation of these smooth muscle, the diaphragm and the abdominal muscles, the combinedly the abdominal muscle and diaphragm, the contraction and relaxation of abdominal muscle and diaphragm leads to the to the defecation of stools from the anus or from the rectum. The muscles which are connected, these muscles, these also help in the, these muscles also contract, these are called levator any muscle, these also contract during the defecation process, and these are connected with the pelvic girdle. These muscles are connected with the pelvic girdle. So this was all about today's presentation.